Virtual vibe sanity is what we're hoping for.
Hi there, how you doing? Welcome, virtual reality fanatics, to Brain Man VR. Now, in this episode, I'm going to take you into a pretty awesome escape game. It's set in outer space, it's visually attractive. I'm also going to walk you through my top 5 tips on how to improve your virtual reality experience no matter what rig you are using. Now, apologies, for some reason when I recorded this one, I'd only just figured out that there's a fine line between reality and virtual reality. And so I didn't do my normal little trick of starting filming down here on the banks of the Thames in VR, which means this transition is going to be clunky. I'm delighted that you could make it. This out here is my virtual studio. This in here is my real studio. Over the course of the next quadrillion episodes of Virtual Vive Sanity, I'm going to take you on a journey. I'm going to take you on a journey into virtual reality worlds. Now, anyone can go to a virtual reality world. You just need something that looks a little bit like this, with 2 lenses, screens at the back that show you the images that you would see if you looked up, in this case, a world on a mountaintop. You see the skylights. If you look down, you don't see your feet because it's quite hard to get good, accurate ideas of where people's feet are in space. But with the hands, using the controller, you can update perfectly. Update perfectly meaning that images that are shown to you in the back of these lenses are delivered so quickly that you can't tell the difference between reality and virtual reality. So let me just show you. This is why I opted to use this particular setup, the HTC Vive, because although this is a blindfold, this, you can see these things in space and you can move them, like if you're just sort of messing around with a rounder's bat on a sort of a mini baseball bat, you'd be able to like pick it up and catch it, and you'd be pretty confident that, even if it accidentally spun sideways, you'll still catch it. Now these things here are 130 quid each. So that's, if you break one, that's in US money, that's like 150 bucks, 180 bucks. It's an awful lot of money. And so why would you risk it? Well, you're not risking anything. If you can do it in real life, then in virtual reality, the movement updates so quickly that you can do the same thing here, which is great. But it's not just about reproducing what you can do in the real world. This is all about tricking the senses, tricking the visual part of the brain, which is at the back here, giving it exactly what it expects when you look around the world. But also, the acoustic is so important. I'd like to give a few tips. I'm not going to overload you with the full top 5 tips, but if you want to maximize your VR experience, I highly recommend you have some water to hand, because VR, when done properly, is thirsty work. Whilst 2D, two-dimensional computer gaming on a screen famously made people fat, it's now the case that I think virtual reality is going to make people fit. You really do burn the calories doing this stuff, and you don't feel it. You do not notice it at all, apart from getting a bit dehydrated and sweaty. So you don't want to have to take your lenses off for too long. You want to be able to just reach out and grab and then get straight back into virtual reality world without breaking the magic too hard. The other thing, as any Englishman will tell you, it's vital to have a cup of tea at hand at any moment. But particularly when you need revitalizing between battles or adventures in VR. And really the third one's the most important one, and that is just be dynamic, move around your space. It's absolutely brilliant. Like, to be dynamic, it would help not to have slippery socks on, so that's another recommendation. Because not only will it stop you slipping around, but the soles of your feet are covered in sensors, which give you information about the floor and about your movement across the floor. So when you're sort of pulling off different maneuvers, barefootedness is really helpful to encourage greater range of movement. So there are a couple of others, but I'm not going to burden you with them right now. So I've got clean eyes, I've got water to hand, I've reminded myself to try and be dynamic and move around as much as possible. I promised myself I wouldn't go into the neuroscience of why. For the time being, it's just enough to do it, but trust me, I explain very well what's going on in other episodes. So let's get stuck in. I've decided that I'm never going to show you lot the beginning of any game. I'm always going to show you part way through, because it's like exploring a world to begin with under your own steam is a really great part of the process. And I think no one should be robbed of it with spoilers, accidental or otherwise. So I am halfway through form, and I am excited to pop back in, because I remember thinking this is just everything I hoped that virtual reality would be. So the reason I love VR, the reason I'm interested in it, is because anything that you can imagine, you can basically create in VR if you have a go. I like that they're taking this stuff seriously. My hands are always the wrong way around. To make the most of your VR experience before you play, please read any health and safety warnings in your VR headset manual. Make sure you have plenty of space to play and remove any obstacles. This includes making sure that other people or pets don't interrupt your plays. You may not be able to see or hear around you. So I hope everyone reads this stuff, because it is really, really important to read it once. Obviously, you don't have to do it every time, but to get the gist of the kind of dangers that this form of technology can offer, it's really important to know it rather than learning sort of the hard way. Because the point is you might hurt other people. That's one thing. You cannot see what you are doing when you're in here, and it's so addictive. There's always the temptation to just cancel all your plans and stay in, which hopefully is part of what this is about. If you have experienced epileptic sound volumes... Yeah, look, that one. Sound volume should be kept to low enough level so that you can be aware of your surroundings while playing and to avoid any damage to your hearing. So that kind of thing is because when you're in here, if you cut a skeleton with your sword, you can easily wallop someone around the head as they go past. Anyway. Cortex. Experience the Form interactive soundtrack. Okay, so we're in Alaska. My eyes are... The distance between my lenses is changing. Ooh, scary. Okay, story. Play the main story. Slot 1, Mind's Eye 2, 3. Let's do it. Ha! I last played this day after my birthday. Oh god, yeah, that was hungover. That was seriously hungover. Woo! So it's clever that they've got slots for different players. So if there's more than one person playing in a household, then everyone can do the story at their own speed. That's good. Good that they've thought about such things. I'm building a game at the moment, and the difficulty is... Ah! I'll tell you about it later. Whoa. Trapped again.
Signals.
Trapped again.
Frequencies.
Oh.
Waves.
Whoa.
So your job is to listen to outer space? It's funny.
Oh.
We can search the stars above, but we were more cut off from each other than ever.
Oh. Oh. What's going on? Hang on. Do you want to go in there? Oh, no. You want to go in there? Do I have to put you in the right way around? Look, see that shape? Where are you? You see that shape? What's the point? That way. Whoa! Whoa! What's going on? Whoa! You're a big machine. What do we do? Oh. Hey, we're going to play the drum. Bom, bom. Oh. Ah. Okay. So, how do I know which way I want to go? Okay, cube. Oh, let's say cube. What? Oh. So I can see the way out. I understand what I need to do. But why you should be the one? Go there. Alright, I'm going to try all the others. I've tried this. What? Hanging just to do some kind of sun. So if that's not that, it is that. Okay, so the rest of them are all going to work fine, are they? That's so weird. So it's mislabeled. It must be mislabeled in the program. See, it's clever, isn't it? The way you put the lens between to see the way through this this maze. So now to the left knee of this strange character, which is, what do you call that? Dodecahedral? I think it's that one. Followed by square man. Hopefully correctly labelled this time. Good. Hey! What's going on here? Oh, I just threw my thing away. Steering around the world. Triangles, right? And then more triangles. And then I have to go all the way up to the football. And then to the witchy thing. I think that's the witchy thing. And then to the cube. And then to the hex. I don't know what you call that. Square. Rhomboid. Like, words fail me when it comes to such complex and beautiful geometry. Cube, I can handle a cube. Why don't they teach me these other ones? Football, that's allowed to be football, surely. That, triangles, how many triangles? 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably about 24 triangles. What do you call that? Absolute head fuck. Oh no, it's the other one. Just dope. Do I have to start again? You've got to be kidding me. Oh my god, that is abs. Oh right, it's like snakes and ladders if you go too fast. Okay, well let's go really, really fast then. And up then football. Square, 3D shape, square ball, that's what I call it. Pent ball, tri-ball, 2 pyramids stuck together, cube, don't fuck it up, triangle, pyramid. It's done, right? Yeah, man. You see, I told you. Yeah, man. Okay, we'll do another one. Boom. Tracing circuits. So, I have been building VR worlds of my own, not as sophisticated as this. Damn. But I can totally imagine how they built this. Like, they would have put a trigger box around that space so they know when my hand passes into that space. So it's probably a sphere-like shape, and when this mesh of the hand in my hand, oh wow, they've got damn cool stuff to your sense of reality. You've got stars in your hand too. Oh, it's very, very lovely. They've really thought about it. But yeah, so there's a proximity detector which says when your hand is overlapping with that part of space. Oops. Right. Once you sort of learn how to put those boxes in the world, and just so you put these pretty things in space, run a little animation to open them up, changing the state, put a little proximity detector so it knows when you're touching them, and then put in a little bit of set of rules. You know, you have to hit that one, then that one, then that one, in light of the map that we have illuminated. So it's actually, you know, not taking anything away from them, they've done a great job, but it's actually quite straightforward proposition to create this. To describe how it's created while playing it, well, that's another matter.
Virtual vibe sanity is what we're hoping for.